Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear and I'm here to build some model kits and of course to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. You can use other people's emotes or you can make the choice to not chat and just be a lurker. And I even have a thing for that now. I have a chat command for lurker. I thought I did. Apparently I don't have it turned on, but I thought I did. Well, that's just Prime. I'm gonna go check that out. I'm gonna go look at that and see why I don't have that because I thought I did. Lashbrook is here. What's up, Lashbrook? Happy to have you here as always, my friend. I thought I had set up lurker. Apparently I didn't. It's lurk. That's what it is. It's lurk. It's exclamation point lurk, not lurker. Maybe I'll change it to lurker. I don't know. But folks that are not looking at chat, when I do hashtag lurk, it says it's okay to be a lurker. Just kick back and watch. But if you want to participate in chat, you're welcome to, and that's true. Yeah, I added that chat command, and then I did the shout out. So let's say because they're the first person to Lord Crashington here. What's up, Lord Crashington? Let's say I can do this, and then I can do let's see. Let's see if this worked. Yes. Ghost Valve is here. What's up, Ghost Valve? I now have a shout out function. I can do exclamation point SO and then Lashbrook. And I've even set that up in Nightbot so that you can't do that. All my other chat commands here, you are welcome to use if you want to know, like, what manga are you going to be talking about tonight, Pat? Or what anime are you talking about now? I missed it when you did the exclamation. You can put those in. But you can't shout out other people because that would be weird. But yeah, if I want to be like, hey, check out Lashbrook at twitch.tv/Lashbrook, it'll do that, which is neat. And it's something I should have done a long time ago and didn't. Shout out to Lashbrook. Indeed, Lord Crashington. Shout outs to all of you. Oops. We were at 49. We are down to 48. It looks like somebody that dropped down. We were at 48 out of 50 subscribers. We were at 49 earlier. It's okay. As always, folks don't have to renew. They don't have to convert their gifted sub to a regular subscription. People can come and go. Or maybe they have premium and so they don't have auto renew and they didn't, or not premium, Twitch Prime, and they didn't notice that their account, they need to renew. So maybe they will on another day. Tonight's agenda. We've got the Blazing Gundam. We got the Blazing Gundam here. We're going to finish the Blazing Gundam. We got to do the waist and we got to do the weapons. So that shouldn't take long. That's going to be under an hour. When that's over, we're going to start on the Zeong, and that's going to be a fucking build. That is quite the build. I saved the box of the Zeong because it's nice to have there to put model kits on top of. This is my last stream in this room for about 6 weeks. Tomorrow I will be schlepping everything over into the Carolina room, our bonus room of the house, which is also where the modem and router are. So that'll be nice. It'll be plugged right in there through Ethernet. So I'll be setting up in there, kind of building some sort of set behind me. I'm changing around what I did last January, February. I'll be switching that up to a different setup. There will still be, stuff behind me. And I will build some sort of set that isn't this, but is similar to this. Like, it won't be the boxes that are over here, but it will be like some boxes with model kits on top of them. That is a thing that I will probably do. I'm going to be moving around less than I've done in previous years. Also, because, like, I'm now in HD. I'm in wide here for my camera. So the shot I used last year, there's stuff that would be in there that I don't want to do. So I'm going to refigure that. Also, before we get into model kit building, and thank you for being here for model kit building and hanging out, I want to promote a stream that I'm doing tomorrow night. A very rare bonus Friday stream. The rarest of rare Friday streams. It won't be that long. It'll be probably like 45 minutes. I'm going to stream and talk about the categories and the nominees for the Anime Awards, Crunchyroll's Anime Awards. Uh, and I'll talk a little bit about that right now, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But I do want to promote that. I'm also going to retweet my tweet, and let's get into the model kit building while I talk about this and what this means. And of course, we got to go to the main feed. Yes, the main feed, so that we can model kit build and hang out. So let's work on the waist and then the connector of the waist that connects the legs. And let's get this kit body complete. And then we'll build weapons, and then we'll build the cool foot, and then we're going to pose it with a cool like martial arts kick, which I thought would be neat. Okay, so tomorrow I am going to do a thing. Basically, on Tuesday they opened up voting for the Anime Awards because there's a panel of people and all that, and they'll have their say. But right now, people get to have their own say in that by voting, and you can vote every day. And I've usually done like my like voting guide as a video, but the voting window is so short that I'm just doing it as a one-off. Because it closes. Basically, it's only open for a week, so it didn't really make sense to make a full Pet Bears Anime Club and put it out there. I'm just going to do a video about it where I talk about the categories, talk about categories that were in last year that aren't here anymore, and why that may or may not be, why that is the case, or what was going on with that. We'll kind of chat about that a little bit, and then mostly talk about what I think got snubbed in a particular category, or what I think will win, and what I'm voting for, because that's not always the case. Like, I don't think that Attack on Titan is a good anime, and it's going to win a bunch of awards. It'll win some categories. And then there are a few things that I'm like, well, I don't think this is a romance, but I think it's going to win the romance category. That kind of thing. Like, we'll kind of do our best to judge those things and kind of figure out where they're going with them. So that's tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, I should point out, there will be no watch-along this year. In years past, for the Anime Awards, I have done a watch-along. And that is not possible this year because they are not doing an award show this year. Didn't know that until, I don't know if a lot of people knew that until it got announced. But there will be no award show. Where does this go? Okay. For the Anime Awards, and it makes sense, right? When you think about last year, there was no. I mean, it's broadcast on Twitch. Last year, they just did they had like a virtual host, and they would cut to a couple people because they didn't do it in front of an audience. The years before, they've done it in front of an audience, or they've at least had people. Like, they've had like the set with some people come in, and then they've had like a live viewing party of it with some other people from like the media team at Crunchyroll. So it's like, to me, it was like, oh, that, what, that does make a lot of sense. They're not going to like go buck wild with it. Also, when you take into consideration that Sony bought Crunchyroll, so and we're starting to see in the calendar year 2022, like shows that were Funimation exclusives are starting to show up a little bit in Crunchyroll. But the big takeaway, the big like, oh, this merger shit is happening, like we knew it was, but it's happening, is the fact that the Funimation Twitter account and the Crunchyroll Twitter account are responding to one another. That is a good indication that shit is getting into the same house. That is like, oh, yeah. So it makes sense that they wouldn't spend a bunch of money doing this big award show thing. So basically, February 9th, the winners are going to be announced. Will it just be the website will be updated with the winning categories? Will they make little videos for each one? Will there be acceptance awards from the people? And that's why, the voting element is, not that far away from that. And they'll go and try to get video of people saying, hey, thanks so much for vote, thank you to all the fans. And this is so neat. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But that night, I will do Pat Bear's Anime Club live, February 9th, will be me talking about the award show. It'll be me kind of like going like, okay, well, or the awards, and not the award show, me going through the awards. So it won't be like the usual watch along live stream, but it will be a hang out and talk about it video, and that'll be like the next Pat Bear's Anime Club. Speaking of Pat Bear's Anime Club, it's a weird little period for me right now because the next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club should theoretically. Ooh, this was the wrong piece, wasn't it? Yeah, that's coming up. I grabbed the wrong piece there. Theoretically, the next Pat Bear's Anime Club would come out on in February, right? Yeah, because like I put one out today. January 31st will be the next one, but I have a video lined up that will go live that will coincide with something else. So that's technically the next one. So I think I'm going to I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to count that as the next one as the date on the 31st, even if it comes out on 28th. I think I'm going to do that. If it comes out on Monday, then I'll just change that. What I'm saying is the next video will be my top 10 list of the year 2020. My top 10 anime from that year. That is going to be the next Pat Bear's Anime Club. I just don't know the exact date it's going to come out because I am not in control of the date that something related to that is going to come out. So it is a weird little thing. It's just a weird spot that I've never really been in. I have been weirdly lucky that my Pat Bear's Anime Club live shows at conventions have always been the weekend before. It just worked out now 3 times that they have been right before I would do it. I would be putting out a new episode. So it was perfect timing. Lasper says, I voted in those awards as a lark, and boy, was it a lot of the same 5 shows over and over again. Yes, Lashbrook. It's a weird thing. The main categories, your biggest categories, have a lot of overlap. And it's weird, though, because a couple of those shows I didn't realize were popular. And obviously, I'm in a bubble. But, some of them, I was like, does anybody like this show? I hadn't heard anybody talk about this. And then I'm, trying to look and see. It's a few of them, yes, there are people that are really into it. But a few of them, it doesn't feel like anybody cares about that one show about the girls at the acting school, and one of them is very tall. I don't feel like that show did anything for anybody. But apparently, that show wasn't bad. I can't remember the name of it. But I'm like, My big thing is, and I'll say it again tomorrow, I'll just say it here right now. If you're gonna have a category with romance category, then you should include shows about budding romances, certainly, but you should also include ones that are just characters that want to date each other, actively pursuing that. What I'm saying is, the Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent should have been nominated and is my winner in that category, and it's weird that it didn't get nominated, but Comey Can't Communicate, where one character likes another character, but they're not in a relationship, they're not dating, and neither is trying to date the other. I'm that's not a romance show. There's romance in it. There's fleeting thoughts, but it's there's nobody's trying to date in that show. Nobody's trying to date in that show. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but I am annoyed. At the very least, it's not best couple. There's no best couple category anymore, and that fucking rules. The best couple was always a weird category where always be people nominated for not real tragic romances. Hell yeah, gotta hit that old applause here. Applause. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat for Dustin Forrester, who says, hey Pat, can't stick around, but wanted to re-up my sub. I'll catch the VOD as usual. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Dustin. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching the VODs. Thanks for hanging out. Gotta throw the applause in for you for 11 months. Thank you very much for that. That is awesome. And hey, you can't watch live? That's understandable. Folks that watch the VODs, folks that watch the YouTube archive, thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it very much. Do I love seeing people here? Sure, I do. Am I happy knowing that people watch however they can? Of course I am. And Lord Crashton wants me to hit that ska button, so um, I will let you know, folks. Last ska in this room. Yes, in this room. I do have more ska tunes set up for next. I have basically the next 5 months set up for ska because I change it every month. Um, uh, um, and that'll be fine because I have a bunch of songs set up. They are not within the Stream Deck, the Elgato Stream Deck like family of stuff, but I can load MP3s. All I'll have to do is before the stream starts is press the ska button to cache it, and then it will play instantaneously, just like it will play normally. It basically just has to like find the file again. So it's great. I just have to I have to listen to a ska song before every stream, starting in February. Lashbrook says, "Wow, that premium Bandai Asura I linked in the Discord sold out very quickly." I didn't even see that. I'm gonna open up Discord right now, folks, because I didn't see that. I didn't know that premium Bandai had an Asura. Not obviously it's sold out, so I'm not gonna get it. But I didn't even see. Looking at that. This was the HG high grade, obviously 144 Load Astray will be available pre-order tonight at 9 p.m. on Premium Bandai. Okay, yeah, I did not know that there were premium. There were some premium stuff coming up today, so I did not see that. I will check that out now. That does look rad as heck. That is out of stock. And it was also only $31, which at this point, any high grade for $31 is a good deal, plus shipping, of course. Dang, that does look dope as hell. And it is April 4th. It's closed. It closes, yeah. Dang, that ships in May. I am getting a model kit shipped. I got a FedEx notification that my Wiesbarazam is shipping. Wiesbarazam is shipping, which is a cool kit. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to move this here so I can look at it and see chat. There's also a weird F90 kit too. Cool. Yeah, I was literally just about to look at on me looking, not y'all looking. I'm going to look at what else came here. What other pre-orders are available right now? 100 F90 is the other new pre-order. That is a master grade, which been a while. That I really don't like. I don't know if it's a lighting effects, but sometimes these bright colors look like candy, and I'm not super into that. That is a weird F90. You're not wrong. The Mars Independent Zeon Force type. I like that gun. Here's the thing. This master grade is $58, which isn't terrible for a master grade, but isn't great for a master grade. But this kit doesn't scream like you should spend $58 plus shipping to pre-order this kit. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. It just doesn't scream this shit is great and you gotta check this out. I'll put a photo in here. This pose rules, but all right, let me drop a photo in here so you can all see what I'm talking about here. Desktop. Wait, where did I save it? Where did I save it? There it is. Here it is. Like, I think this thing looks pretty cool, but it doesn't look like, I don't know. I like the head. I think the head is neat. That's my favorite part of it. But this is, to me anyway, this is not $58 plus shipping cool. And again, it's a master grade. You're lucky if you can get that, for the price these days for anything. But as far as, also, I do have a lot of pre-orders for the beginning of this year, so we'll just delete that. We don't need this photo anymore. I do have plenty of cool pre-orders right now, so I'm not like really bothered by it because I got a lot of cool stuff. I've got the Weiss Barzam, the Gundam Harate, high grade coming in February. In April, I got the You Remembaer real grade. And I've got in April also the White Rider and Black Rider kits, and those both look cool as hell. Those are two very cool kits that are coming my way. The new Gundam entry grade in May. Of course, also the Exia and new Gundam, or well, not the Exia, maybe I can't remember. The new Gundam is a pre-order from, so who knows? But it's not a Bandai pre-order. It's a pre-order from USA Gundam Store. I'm 99% sure. And then I've got the Raider Gundam Full Mechanics. Harold's here saying good night. I'll catch you later. Harold, didn't even know you're here. Always happy to have you here, my friend. Have a good night. Didn't know you were hanging out. Glad you were here for even a little bit. And then in May, I've got that Asmodeus high grade. But all of the kits that I'm talking about here are all weird as hell or cool looking. The XC Repair isn't, but real grades are fun to build, and it's a new real grade, and I got a good price on it. So, like, I'm not complaining because I'm kind of, for the first time in a very long time, after I had a good time with the last real grade I built, and of course I'm starting a new real grade here, I'm on a bit of a real grade kick where I am interested in those where I was not previously. So I am excited to work on one of those. So we'll see. All right, let's talk about it. I mentioned it. I'm going to be living solo till the first week in May, like during the first week in May. So like 6 weeks of my folks, they will be in Florida, in an area that's pretty damn isolated. It'll be isolated as well, so I'm not worried about it. I am worried about them. Mostly, I'm worried about them driving because there's some May or March, first week in March, 6 weeks. Did I say May? I might have said May because I was talking about model kits that are coming out in May, but it's March, the first week in March. So from tomorrow until in the first week of March, 6 weeks of them being away. I did say May. Lord Crashington, thanks for catching and thanks for checking in on that. But yes, they'll be gone, and I will be alone. And it's weird. It's a weird thing. I mean, I already did it. I will have some deliveries come when I need stuff. I've got lots of food already, so I am set up for quite a bit here. Of course, I will get delivery to start the first night because the first night I just want to have something and not worry about it. Because tomorrow I will have a stream later, but I will be spending a good portion of tomorrow moving all my gear and setting up and then rearranging and then getting things looking right and trying to build a bit of a set tomorrow. So I'll be spending some of that doing that, and I don't necessarily want to then worry about dinner and getting into transition of cooking dinner for myself, just me instead of for the family, and eating on my own schedule instead of a predetermined schedule because I've never been able to shake that from them, which is fine. It's not my house. But it is that thing of like being prepared for the loneliness is a real thing that I have to get psyched, mentally prepared for. Psyched up for, I was going to say, but I think mentally prepared is probably actually the better way to look at it. But yeah, I got to get mentally ready for that shit, for just like not having them around. So part of that is the first week of February, February 7th through 11th, I will be experimenting with my daily streams, the Daily Dwarf, where I'll be playing Dwarf Romantic every single day. Because that is a fun game I like playing, and I feel like I can play for an hour, and that'll be afternoon streams. It'll be 1 p.m. Eastern to around 2 p.m. Eastern, let's say, and that'll be a fun kind of experiment. And that also just be like, yeah, it's just another opportunity to talk into a microphone while I do things. I'm trying to organize as many D&D sessions as possible, both D&D and then also the Lasers and Feelings, and also the Fiasco games that I am a part of in the one-off group, the one-shot group, I should say, not one-offs, one-shots. The one-shots groups I'm in, I'm trying to make sure that I can get a few of those together, just so I have like human interaction. Because a lot of my like Zoom hangouts have kind of dwindled in consistency. Because a lot of people returned back to their offices, or they just kind of stopped doing the hangouts in that way. They just didn't find them as fulfilling, or they opened up their bubbles to more people that are physically close to them, because now they're, even if they're not interested in going into large groups, they're okay with vaccinated people that they're close with. So I'm like, okay, works out for me. I'll be okay with that, like trying to keep all that together. Because it's weird. It's gonna be a weird thing. It felt very weird last year. It'll feel weird this year. Just going from having two people in this house who are, they're not homebodies, but they're around a lot and like I can interact with, and just being like, okay, it will feel a lot more like the couple months where I was in New York by myself after my roommate had decided to move in with his girlfriend, I should say. And I was living alone in New York and not going anywhere and just streaming and hanging out and conversing with people. It's gonna feel really weird, to kind of deal with that again, that isolation. So we'll see. And of course, for emergencies, parents have two cars, so there's a car here. I do not have a license. I can drive. I did have a license at one point in my life. Have not had that here since I've lived here. I made the mistake of letting my license expire. What ended up happening was I should have transferred my Connecticut license to New York. At any point when I lived in New York, I should have done that. And instead what happened was I was like, I'm just going to keep it as a Connecticut license because who knows how long I'm going to be in New York. And I should have known that would be for a very long time. And I didn't deal with that. So what ended up happening was my license was up for renewal. And I was like, I'm just going to renew it in Connecticut because I can do that online. Well, Connecticut had changed some stuff. So I was going to have to go and do it in person. And I was very busy at the time and did not feel like going to Connecticut just to go to the DMV. So I was like, well, I'll let it expire and then transfer it. And then New York was like, no, you can't transfer an expired license. You need to retake your driver's test. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I live in New York and I take the subway everywhere. Forget that shit. No thanks. And so I never did. And then I just got a passport card, which looks like a license and is treated like a license everywhere. And I just use that. And I still know how to drive, and I have certainly driven on occasion without my license. I went to a wedding a couple years ago. This is probably 5 years ago. And the guy who drove us down, we drove to Delaware from New York, was like, hey, Pat, I know you don't have a license. This is my car, so I don't care. Would you mind driving us back to the hotel from the wedding reception? Because I want to drink and get drunk at this wedding, and I don't want to drive back late at night. And I was like, okay, well, how about I drive from the? I said this. I was like, I'm okay with that. How about you let me drive to the wedding reception from the hotel, because the wedding and the wedding reception were in the same place. I was like, let me drive from the hotel to the wedding venue. And if you think I did a bad job in the daytime, when I'm not tired at all, then don't drink, or just have a drink or whatever, and then drive home. But if you think I'm fine, then go and party. And I was, so I drove them back. And that was his car and his choice. And everyone else, also, I should say, the other people in the car were okay with it. And I said, if anybody got a problem with this, I'm not doing it, because I don't mind. But if somebody's just like, I don't want somebody without a license driving who hasn't driven in a while. These were all back roads. We had GPS. I'm not here saying like you should break the law, but I am saying that I did, and I don't care that I did. I guess I'll just say that. Like, I did not bother me to break the law at that time, and I will do it again. Mostly I just gotta, like, some point in February, turn that car over just so, everything's fine with it, because it'll just be sitting there in the garage. Also, one of the benefits, we're talking about benefits of my folks being away and me living in this house by myself. Oh, there's one big old benefit, my friends. And that benefit is I take the bicycle that is set up to be an exercise bike, because we got the little adapter thingy, and I move that into the house and set that up in the dining room, because I don't use the dining room by myself. So I will be able to use that bicycle inside the house and not in the garage. And that rules. I am very excited about having that as a thing. Because it's going to get a little cold and rainy, and then it's just a garage and it's not fun. And that way I can just like put sneakers on whatever I'm wearing and go bike, and I don't have to worry about it, instead of like worrying about like, all right, do I have my hoodie, and I'm gonna unzip this enough just so that I won't like get too hot in here, and oh, well, I'm cold and it's wet and whatever. Like, nah, forget that. I'm just gonna go in there. All right, we got the connector on here. We don't have to panel line this because you'll never see this connector really, and then we will pop that in there. If I thought you could see it, I would panel line it, but there's no way. I'm saying for Thursday, y'all, this is a little bit of a light night. Usually our Saturdays are our light nights, but tonight is pretty fucking chill. That's okay. Oh, I do want to say, put it out there, point it out there. Before we move on to the big topic of the night, Dirty from the chat, Dirty Monkey, did indeed purchase, spent a good bit of change there for me to have a monitor stand for 3 monitors. Now, I arrived at like 5 o'clock today, and I didn't set it up. I took it out of the box and looked at it, but I didn't set it up. And the only reason I didn't set it up is because I got Dirty says I showed up right at time to hear my name. Indeed, Dirty. So here's the deal. I got your monitor, the monitor stand you picked up. Thank you very much. I did not set it up today because tomorrow I will be moving my gear into the Carolina room. I'm moving my setup for like 6 weeks. So I was like, well, there doesn't make sense for me to like do this now. And I want to shoot the video, the YouTube video, because it's a mailbag video. I'm going to shoot that tomorrow, and then it'll be up on Saturday, because my patrons get it, you know, $5 and $10 patrons get it a day early. So I was like, well, I should just set that up tomorrow in the new space and get used to it, because I gotta figure out how to put a third monitor on top of my 2 monitors that are like right there. I gotta figure out put one there and still have this webcam. This webcam is probably gonna have to go lower, and then then the light is gonna have to go lower. And if the light can only go so low before it gets in the way of this camera. So also the pole for this camera has to be next to the monitor. I'm like, I don't know. I actually, because if this is above the monitor, which it could be, I could put it above the third monitor, but like the zoom, I don't have enough digital zoom on this webcam to make sense, so it'll be too high, I think, because you can only digital zoom so much with these webcams. So I'm like, I have no idea how to set all that up. I know I'm going to, but it's going to be an interesting thing. Because basically it's like, yeah, I'm going to have the 2 monitors basically where they are, and then the third one, because I didn't want to do 3 across. I felt like that, that's why I got I put the stand on my wish list that is the 2 and then the one on top. And that'll be for OBS, and then it will be like chat for when I play games, and I want to have like, or no, it'll be OBS there, yeah. But it'll all work out. I think that's just going to be where OBS is, and it'll free up a monitor for other stuff. I can put like my notes, and then I can have a full monitor for chat. That'll be good. All right, we are body complete on this kit. What we're going to do is we got the backpack here. We're going to put the backpack and the weapons together. And then we're going to take a photo, and then we're going to replace the foot with the cool see-through green foot, and then I will take an action shot with that using the base, our stand here. So I'll put that over there. We'll be doing that. I got the action base here, so that we can do cool poses. But right now, we'll just work on cool backpack. And let's get into it, folks. We got to talk about this, right? The big news story of the day, of the week, let's say, not even the day. Microsoft is looking to buy Activision Blizzard King for $68.7 billion, which is an unbelievable amount of money. And and that's a lot, and it's nonsense and cool and weird and maybe good and maybe bad, and like, I don't know. I feel like if anybody has any kind of opinion of them, those opinions are valid for the most part. Like, if you were like, this is probably, yes, round up to 69 billion, a nice acquisition number. Let's say, like, obviously, um, it both could be in the long term better for Activision, Blizzard, King employees. Way too much of it will go to Bobby Kotick. Yes, more than $0 will go to Bobby Kotick. Of course, now there's like competing theories of like, is it like part of the deal is that he's going to be gone, but he's part of the transition? Because if, like, if it was like he has to step down for it to go through, then that makes like Activision's like whatever tank, like their stock price tank. So you got to say, oh, he's going to stick around for the transition, but then he's out the door right away. Who knows? I'm not going to speculate on speculation, obviously. But I can say that, yes, for the employees, it could be. Certainly, it does take away from already striking employees, and and unionization efforts. It does make things more difficult for people in those fights, and those fights are not over. But it does, it is possible that some people are interested in seeing, or maybe a little enthusiastic about the possibilities of what it means to gut the executive branch of Activision. Actually, like, just be like, yeah, we don't need these people. We need, we're good, and see what happens. Could be interesting. I think as more stories come out, I am getting more faith. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it could be wishful thinking on some people's parts. It could be also people who are prepping to exit anyway, and we will see more people make those exits as they go because they will get their parachutes as they leave. But yeah, I mean, like, also people that are like, I am not excited about consolidation. I am never excited about big things like this. We talked a little bit earlier about the Crunchyroll Funimation merger because Sony bought Crunchyroll and already owned Funimation, and how, like, kind of wish that didn't happen for, people, for like people who, want those, want this to be a competitive industry, and how, like, what does it mean for Microsoft to now have the rights to Microsoft now has Call of Duty and Pitfall. But it's like, but was Activision doing anything with anything? So maybe Microsoft will start. Microsoft has Crash Bandicoot. That's weird. Or that they don't yet, but they most likely will, because even the Biden administration most likely is gonna be okay with this, because here's the real thing. Microsoft buying it is different from Tencent buying it, and that's just how people are going to look at it. So I am not going to panel line this backpack because we'll never see it. So I'm just going to put it on there. It's a weird backpack that I like, but we're never going to really see it. We'll see the front. Actually, you know what? Stretch that. We are going to do this. We're only going to do the front part because you will see it. So I'll just hit that with some brown. Certainly puts another spin on that quote from a few months ago where Phil was talking about Activision revealing their relationship status with Activision Blizzard. Yeah. So his quotes now, like, we're going to be taking a look in what our partnerships is now and going forward, is basically like, at the time it was like, maybe we're going to like not really work with them. And now you can read it as, I bet their stock price is going to tank, and this would be a great time for us to buy them. Yeah, so it does put a different spin on it, certainly. Phil Spencer definitely seems to remember Activision has other games to Call of Duty. Yes. He, I believe, called out Hexen by name. Also, Tim Schafer works for Microsoft. Tim Schafer could make a Sierra game. I'm not saying that Double Fine is going to make a Sierra property, but Tim Schafer works there. And also, yeah, now they're acquiring the Sierra brand. So who knows? That would be weird as hell for old people like me. Um, Again, I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. It seems like corporate laundering to make those that were avoiding buying their games over all that shit feel better about just giving in if nothing's changing for a while. Yes, Sword Crashing, I agree. And the folks that are like, yeah, this doesn't change anything for me. Yes, that's also totally valid and totally understandable. I get it. It does make some people be like, okay, well, I mean, now I'm buying Microsoft games and that's fine. Now, we should also talk a bit about today's look. Now, it was only in the corners of video games that today's Twitter person came out. The person that is the main character on Twitter for a day, and then we all forget about it. Because there was a person there talking about how generally, there are a lot of people who are like, oh, this is maybe good for some gamers because it does make Game Pass a better deal. And there are other people that are like, hey, this kind of consolidation is bad for video games, and I am opposed to this kind of thing because it's bad for unionization efforts. It's bad for like locking everything under, lock and key. Like when you look at all of the many things that Disney has done that are good, but they're also the fact that Disney is basically the Fox library of films are no longer available to pay a view license or to show them in theaters. So these prints of these classic Fox films can no longer be shown at art house cinema. And that's sad. And there's a lot of stuff about these kind of consolidations that are bad besides the I mean, now you can have this character and this, you could have a crossover and whatever, and who knows, and maybe this thing will come back. Like, yeah, besides all that, there are things to be worried about. But there was somebody on Twitter today that basically said, media are out of touch if they don't like this deal because they get games for free and they get paid a lot of money to play games, and they don't understand what it's like if they're against people having games, available, for a monthly service. Again, a monthly service that you pay for. People pay for that. That seems like a very Gamergate type of message. Yes. Which is also how a lot of things used to make their money, right, Lashbrook? Yes. Yeah, it does feel a little bit that. And I think that, like, really what it comes down to is, one, people in Games Press don't make a lot of money. Two, the era of the Steam, like, press thing, like the press account that people got for Steam, it's been years since that existed. Now, it still exists for people that have it, but new people, forget it. No. Like, Voidburger, Jess, doesn't have a Steam press account at this point. Like, she's not getting one. That doesn't exist for new people. It's like an old thing that some people still have. So that's a thing where you're just like, yeah, that's not like that's just not going to be a thing that happens. Now, does it mean that people do get sent game codes that work at media companies? Yeah, that happens. But also, I got 3 free games last year because I am on some games lists. Indie games, not big budget games, but indie games. Is it true that some people in games media press, the games press, make a good amount of money? Yes. But that also is, but like, if you're saying like, well, according to this website, the net worth of Jason Schreier is this amount of money. So obviously the Games Press makes a lot of money. I'm like, well, one, not everybody gets paid what Jason gets paid. Two, those websites are bullshit. Don't ever take them into consideration. They don't actually like mean anything. So don't like actually like ever treat those as factual because they're not. And three, you really need to take that to me is saying if you're like, oh well, because this one games media person makes a lot of money. All of them make a lot of money. And it's like, no. That's like saying, I'm rich because Ninja makes a lot of money. Like, so all streamers make a lot of money, right? It's like, no. A couple of them make very good amount of money. But like, not everybody. And a lot of people who write for games websites have to like. Also, take this in consideration. Up until a couple years ago, you couldn't work for major sites unless you lived in New York, San Francisco, or Los Angeles. Unless you worked for Game Informer and you could live in the middle of the country. But everybody else, you had to live in San Francisco, Los Angeles, or New York. So even if you do make the medium bucks, you live in three of the most expensive cities, even if you go Bay Area. Because guess what? Oakland's expensive now. Because San Francisco got too expensive, Oakland got expensive. Brooklyn is expensive. Vice Media is in Brooklyn, and a lot of the people that live there, like the people that work there, live in far off Queens. But they still have to live in New York because you still had to have like the address. You still had to be able to get into the office for a very long time. And that is changing. But there's still plenty of people that are like, well, at some point, you're going to have to live in the city again, or commute to the city. New York City, indeed. Huge corporations should be scrutinized at all times when they're doing stuff. Yes, Lord Crashington, we should also be always skeptical of this shit. Healthy skepticism, healthy amount of skepticism, indeed. But yeah, this whole thing of like this media bias is this thing where like, look, of course there's biases. Like, I am not throwing him under the bus or calling him out. But recorded before this tweet went out, Brad Shoemaker was saying $60 games instead of $70 games because some games cost $70. And Brad is like, yes, biases his opinions, yes. Brad was like, yeah, he might not be really paying attention to the cost of some big budget titles because they are on press lists and don't necessarily have to pay for those. They might not get 3 copies of a game, but maybe Brad is the one who's getting the free copy and not really paying attention to that. It was just funny that he was like, they're like, no, it's actually like $70 now, Brad. Some of them, not all of them. It was just funny to see that. The timing of it was funny to me. Anyway, really, what it comes down to is, in this man's opinion, your friend Pat's opinion, like, at the end of the day, like, it's not because like, oh, well, this will be more games on Game Pass, which will make it a better deal. That's fine, but there are a lot of reasons to be against a merger of big corporations. Like, there's a lot of reasons to be worried about that shit and the precedent it sets. And like, literally, there are people who are like, well, Sony's gonna have to buy Capcom and like Square, and you're like, no. This is not what you should be. This is not the message you should be taking away because of your weird console wars bullshit. You shouldn't be taking this like, well, Sony's got to start making some acquisitions and be like, no, they shouldn't. It's okay. Please don't. No, like, no. There should be more There should be more big publishers, and medium-sized publishers, and not just like a couple giant publishers and a couple small publishers. That's bad. That was for me and anyone else who might remember the Pace Salsa commercials. Indeed, Lashbrook, New York City, because a salsa made in New York City, that can't be good. Sure. Then where's Pace now? Maybe they should have been in New York City. I don't know. Global market, folks. I don't know what I'm saying with that. But anyway, I guess the real thing is, huge corporations shouldn't just sell to avoid doing the hard work of changing their corrupt, abusive work culture. Indeed. And a board of directors shouldn't be like, well, we can't salvage this. The best option we have is that we should have another company come in and, clean house because we don't think that Bobby can do it, but we also don't think that we can replace Bobby. And it's just like, oh, all this shit is cowardly. It's some cowardly bullshit and not cool and sucks. Got it. Great. Great, 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 great. Cool, 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 cool. Dirty says, I'm still waiting for the one restaurant future where Taco Bell Pizza Hut wins the food wars. Yeah, I mean, the fast food wars. Yeah, I mean, consolidation, it is what it is, and it's coming for you. I mean, we had the chicken wars. The chicken wars lead to the fast food wars, unfortunately. Oops. So we got our, like, batons here. We got those done. And then, so we got all our weapons together. I'm going to take a photo of this. And then I am going to we're going to build the last thing we have left to build in this kit, which is the cool glowy foot. And we got to build the glowy foot, which is just 2 pieces there. So I can toss all this there. Extra pieces from previous build things all go away. Don't need any of that. And we'll pull these out here. But I'm going to take a photo of this. Then I'm going to build that and put it in a cool kick pose and take a photo of that. And then we will say good night to the Blazing Gundam. And it will go into the ready to build this, combine this with other kits, big bag I have of all of these, which we got to build which at some point we'll have all of them. I only have like 3 more, I think, left. I have one coming in the mail, the Helios, and I think I have like 3 more besides that, and I'll have all of them. I haven't built all of them, but I'll have all of them. Let's put this there. Great. Okay, cool. So we'll take a photo of this like this. Just the cool kit. And then we'll pose it. We'll put the new leg in and build this new leg. And then we'll take a pause for the cause. And then when we come back from the pause for the cause, it'll be time to start the Zeong. So let's get into that, because it's almost 10. Anyway, I guess that's the big thing is, I don't fucking know. Remains to be seen how any of this stuff will shake out. But I stand with workers. I hope that, I don't think this is necessarily going to crush union efforts, but it will certainly put a damper on it and does change the narrative to allow a bunch of people to just be like, cool, everything's fixed. I do imagine this will, even though it is for so much money, I do imagine this will go through because the Biden administration does not seem super interested in taking a look at these kind of things. But who knows? Maybe it'll get in somebody's craw and they'll be like, I don't know about this. This seems like not good for business. And they'll oppose it. I don't know. All right. So I got to put this on like this. No, where does it go? There. Goes like that. Great. All right. So we got our clear foot for martial arts kicks. More likely WoW won't be included in Game Pass. Oh yeah, things that have a subscription won't show up in there, and not everything will show up. And then some things will, like, look, there'll be some things that you can still get on whatever platform you play it on into perpetuity. I don't think they're going to be like Call of Duty does not come out on PlayStation anymore. Like, they'll look at the numbers and go, what is better for Game Pass? Like, we can put it on Game Pass. What is better for us in the long term? What is better for us in the short term? What is, like, good competition for us to have? What is bad competition? They'll just, like, do the math and figure that shit out. And then, it'll, who knows? Who knows what it'll do for people? But I think some stuff will be it, Xbox exclusive, and some stuff will stay multi-platform because they already have the studios doing the work, and whatever. I mean, we'll see. I do think Double Fine's next game will be exclusive, but like, PC and Xbox. But like, I don't think all that stuff will go like immediately exclusive. All right, so we'll do this. We'll get the head going. We got to do like that. Karate pose. So this is our cool pose that our kit can do. Maybe like that. We'll open these up. I think that's cool. Cool pose. Is this weird? Lord Crashing In, I missed the Ken Taco A&W that was near the GameStop I used to work at back in college. Oh, yeah, Ken Taco Hut. There you go. Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. So, yeah, here's our cool martial arts kick. flying leap with our cool energy foot. Our energy foot. So let's get that photographed here. That's very funny that exists, and I can do that. So I'll get a photo of that. I've only ever seen an AEW emerge with a Long John Silver's. I definitely saw an AEW that was with something. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't a Long John Silver. Yeah. All right. So there's our big cool kick. Big kick. And then I need to take out the page here that goes, you should combine it with this kit and these weapons. You did it. Great. Put the Helios on its back, I guess. I don't know. Take the head off and put it on this other kit. We're kit bashing. We are kit bashing. Great. So I save that. Take this over here. Then there. Deal with that later. And then we've got all this cool shit. This is a lot for this is a real grade with a lot of stuff. In case you missed it, Deus Ex Machina is free next week on Epic Store. Ooh, I did miss that. Thank you, Dirty. Appreciate that. So yeah, we got our real grade kit. This is a real grade from the year 2020, the Zeong. And we've got to take the blazing photo away. There's the Zeong. There it is. And we got some stickers here, both regular stickers and some water transfers. And a whole lot of model kit stuff to figure out, which we can sort after the pause for the cause. You get the Zone of Ender Gundam mech battle on. Yes. Yeah, this thing doesn't have legs. It's wild. It's a wild, weird thing. The thing's got like... also, it's a real grade, so it's got some interesting, cool mechanics. In the base of it, you get a whole ding-dang skeletal structure here that we'll build. Frame. Good stuff. It's good stuff. Lots of cool shit. Plenty of English in the instructions of like, make sure the part is facing the right way. And hey, put a sticker on this. And hey, there's undergating because it's a real grade. So like, hey, be careful, there's undergrading. So like, undergating. So you got to snip off a bunch of bullshit. We put a bunch of extra bullshit you got to clean up. And we're starting with the head instead of the chest, which I like. I like starting with the head. That's fun. But yeah, it's a real grade. We're going to figure out where all these... I'm going to try to organize my shelving here with all of these new pieces here. But we can't do that until we take a pause for the cause. So we're going to start with a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know that you are a subscriber, that you do $5 a month or use your Prime Gaming token. You link your Amazon Prime with your Twitch and you subscribe that way. We are currently at 48 out of 50 subscribers. Would love to get back up to 50. If you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that. You don't have to do that. Aristofan is given 10 subs this month. If somebody else wants to gift a sub, that'd be great. If you ever get the sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription, and you won't get charged until that gift sub is up. But why do I still have... I'm under Makers and Crafting. For some reason, the Jackbox extension is still showing up for me. And I don't know why. And it was weird. It popped up out of nowhere. And I was like, get out of here, Jackbox. I played you yesterday. Anyway, gifting also bits and coins. We got, speaking of last night Jackbox, we got some bits at the end of the stream. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Join the Bit Sub leaderboard with Harold and Baby Gresh, who played some games with us last night, which was great. But yeah, we also have Aristofan with 10 give this up, which is ridiculous, Donko. But yeah, trying to get back up to 50. If we don't get there, it's okay. There are other ways to support me financially, if you're so inclined. And one of those ways is to jump over to my Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. Maybe one of those tiers will be a few. I'm going to go through these fast because y'all know what the deal is, and I want to get into getting this Zeong together now that we are ready to work on it. But I'll get through these pretty quickly. So we got that. We got that. Patreon of that. YouTube.com/PatBear. I put out web series, weekly series, and every other week series. So you can check that out. You can also join if you wanted to do that at youtube.com/PatBear for memberships. That will be great. That is another way to support what I do here. And direct donations. If a monthly thing is not something you're interested in doing, perhaps a one-time will be great. All the money I make through Twitch and Patreon and direct donations and YouTube all goes into a fund, which I take money out for that, and I buy model kits. The kit I am going to be building next, the Zeong, is a kit that I bought with money from a gift card and then money from y'all, because I had a good amount of money on Amazon gift card, and then I also took some money from the money that comes in for me from y'all, which is great. Thank you so much for helping me out on Patreon or on Twitch or whatever else. It's nice. It's very nice that you all do that. I mentioned that Dirty picked up a piece of equipment off my Amazon wish list. I do have a wish list that's got model kits on it, and the bottom it does have some tools. I have a new stand for 3 monitors, so starting tomorrow, I am going to be experimenting with having a 3rd monitor. And where do I put my webcams and all of that with 3 monitors? I don't know yet. How is that going to work? I don't know yet, but we'll figure it all out. I'll make it work. Anyway, if you want to buy something, I will shoot a video. I will be shooting a video once I get everything set up of that. There are Lego sets. The Kirby entry grade is up for pre-order. Model kits that are inexpensive. Model kits that are very expensive. Model kits that fluctuate in price. Some that have Amazon Prime free shipping. Some that just have Prime shipping. They're basically saying, hey, we won't charge you for it, but like, who knows when that's gonna be available, and who knows when we're gonna mail it, and maybe it comes from overseas. Kits that are very expensive, kits that are actually a really good price for what they get, and then again some tools at the bottom, because some people are like, I don't know any of these kits, but like I would like you to have this piece of equipment because it would be great. Various ways to help me out, and I appreciate it. And again, I'll shoot a video. And then I have an alternative to that. If you're like, Pat, I like what you do, but I don't want to buy stuff from Amazon. Well, you could buy a gift card from USA Gundam Store, and you could send me the code in an email. Or not email. You get the code in an email, and then you whisper me on Twitch or DM me on Twitter. Flip that. DM me on Twitter, whisper me on Twitch. Yes. Okay. We did that without that. I got a Discord. You can jump in my Discord for free. Obviously, Discord's free. If you want to hang out with some cool people, like-minded, fun friends, you could do that. A couple of video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I talked about Hunter x Hunter and how it is the weirdest goddamn shonen, because it is. It's such a weird shonen. I talk about the history of it, how it changed. It kind of changed its styles and experimented with tropes from the shonen genre, and now it has a main character who is not the original main character, and that doesn't fucking happen. It basically happened in for a hot minute in Dragon Ball Z, and it happens in JoJo, and that's it. You don't get that anywhere else. Shonen have a main character, and then maybe an arc with somebody else, a side arc, a side hustle. But what if One Piece was just you know who this is about? Sabo. This is now Sabo's show. It's no longer about Luffy and his crew. We're going to follow Sabo and the Revolutionary Army for 100 chapters. It's fucking weird. That Hunter x Hunter switched main characters. And then then there's Do You Remembaer, which is the weekly video series that I make, where I read an article. So far, it's been Wikipedia. I'm open to other ideas as well. Read an article, take it all in as best I can, and then immediately turn on my OBS recording and talk about the thing that I just read an article about, and try to tell you all of the information, hopefully in a funny way. This one is on Komodo dragons, and I'll give you a little hint of not a hint. I'll give you a little teaser. Komodo dragons partially refers to one of the islands that they live on, which is Komodo Island. And I made sure, I listened to it later, I never said kimono, which is what I used to think Komodo dragons were called. I grew up, at some point in my life, I thought it was kimono dragon, which is, I don't think it's racist, but it's not cool that I thought that. I was wrong. They eat people. Here's the thing, Lord Crashington. They will fucking fight anybody because they have no natural predators except for man and their guns. So they do not give a fuck, including people that are in the villages neighboring the Komodo Island Reserve because they are an endangered species. But yeah, they will bite a person. They do not get fuck around because up until man started showing up on their islands, nobody fucked with them. They're the honey badger of the reptilian world. Yeah. Yeah, in a way, yeah. Anyway, I had a lot of fun learning about, and then talking about them. I saw a cute video of a kid that loved Komodo dragons and that they eat people. Yes. I mean, they're not opposed to eating people, really. They're not looking for humans. They're not like, ooh, my favorite meal. They're mostly like, I'll eat this. This thing was here. Shouldn't have been. I talk about in the video, to promote the video even more, I talk about in the video a famous person's husband who got bitten in the foot by a Komodo dragon. And that was a fun fact in the Wikipedia article. So watch that video. Or, I mean, you could just read the article, but like, I don't know, I talk about it. And I make some assumptions. That person also could have been famous, but I didn't think. I think the kid likes Komodo dragons, and also Komodo dragons eat people are two things in the video that Lord Crashington, I should say, was talking about. I don't think they were directly. I think they were both facts from the video, not like this kid lives Komodo dragons and then they eat people, including this kid. It might just be that like someone was like, yeah, you know that thing you like? They eat people. I don't know, Aristoman. Anyway, I'm going to drink a little water, then we're going to talk about some manga, and then we'll talk about some anime. And of course, the manga we're talking about is a manhwa, because here's the thing, right? Like, there's not a lot of new stuff coming out that I haven't read yet that I'm interested in reading, but there's always like 170 chapters of this manhwa that I've never heard of. Like, there's always more manhwa for me to check out, even if like I'm like, well, I'm only 3 chapters into this new manga. I'll wait a couple more chapters before I talk about it on stream. Anyway, I'm going to drink a little water here, so let's go, and we're going to transition dramatically. That was a dramatic transition. All right. Let's not worry about the colors yet. Our main colors here are gold and blue and gray. So there's a little bit of red, but there's not much red. So we'll start, like, we're going to start organizing here as I talk about Poison Dragon, the Legend of an Asura. This is a atypical manhwa that I read. Okay, so we got some components here, A and B. There. Generally, the manhwa that I read are, and talk about on these streams, are stories about a overpowered main character. Maybe it's somebody who isn't overpowered at the start, but gets overpowered. Those are often the kind of stories that I tend to talk about here on this. And this character does have some abilities, but it's not like, oh, he woke up in the Mirren world, or he trained for 1,000 years, which we won't see. We're going to see him with his unbelievable ability in like the regular world, or like now it's a world where there are hunters and guilds, and maybe he's not the only person that went to a different dimension and is now here doing his thing. What is that going to mean? Like that kind of thing. This is not that. This is a regular person that had extraordinarily terrible circumstances and then becomes a revenge-seeking vigilante monster. Hell-bent on revenge. This is a revenge tale that is told pretty well. And I eventually was like, I think I'm good. Because there's some twists in this revenge tale as well. Before we get into it, I should say, hey, this thing has 3 fucking stands. It comes with 3 stands because it's so big and wide and weird that it comes with like all of these connector components. We won't use all of these, but we're gonna use a lot of these connectors just so you can like pop these together to put this thing on something, because it's not just going to work on like one regular stand, which is, this is a lot to take in. And then there's some connector wire that I'll deal with later. So I'm just going to put those connectors in here because we won't need them for a bit. Put them back in a box. 1 for each leg. Yeah, basically 1 for each like booster rocket. Each booster has its own stand. And that is wild. I'll do this, just this. Oops, whoops. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. I was going to take this here so you can see this is the whole thing. Look at that thing. Those are, yeah. Basically, it does have a stand-ish kind of thing. It's got like its own like ski legs kind of thing, but it apparently it was like, well, you're not going to have enough regular stand for this, so we'll just optimize your stand capacities. There we go. So this is a big old thing. Anyway, so what is Poison Dragon, the Legend of Asura? It's thick. Yes, it is indeed. Landing struts. Yes, good, nice. So what is this thing that we're talking about here? Okay, so it is a story about a young man who is part of the medicine sect, and they get attacked by one of the poison sects. There are a bunch of poison sects. This is one of them. I think the last shooting version does come with a stand. Oh, okay. Anyway, they get poisoned. He develops an immunity to the poison, and the person that was doing the poison, he attacks our main character attacks that person, and basically means that leg has to be amputated. So this person, who is a purveyor of poisons, is so mad that he's like, I'm going to torture you by treating you with various poisons in your body because you have an immunity, and I will heal you of this immunity and make it so that you are constantly dealing with this trauma. And why am I doing this? Because I am an evil bastard, because you are lowly, and I'm going to take my revenge out on you. And that's as best of an answer as we're going to get as why I am doing all of this, is because I am evil. Anyway, our main character thinks he killed this person and escapes. But his plan is, I need revenge. And I am going to use my ability of being immune to poisons to poison people. And he ends up learning some martial arts. He doesn't learn a lot of them, but he learns, basically, he gets trapped in a fucking mine and has to like dig his way out. And everyone's like dying because they're running out of food, but because he is immune to poison, he can eat the moss and drink the water that have been poisoned in this mine, and he's fine to do that. So he stays alive eating moss and drinking water, where everyone else around him is dying and know they're going to die because they can't fully dig their way out. So they're like, hey, please, the legacy of I'm one of the last people of my clan, let me teach you, or please, whatever. And so he learns some stuff. It's not like he's like excellent at martial arts, but he gets like a rudimentary understanding of a bunch of different styles. And then he does escape. It takes him like 8 fucking years or some nonsense thing, and he does. And he's like, all right, now it's time to enact my revenge. And his revenge goes pretty well for a lot of it. It does, he, for the most part, he's like doing a pretty good job. Part of it is because the person that has that had tortured him and made him who he is, tracked him down to this mine to enact his revenge, and was like, basically the idea that this kid like was trapped in there caused this villain character to lose their mind, and now they are building up their idea of the ultimate torture, and part of that is helping this guy succeed, because in this nonsense main character's mind, our guy succeeding will lead to it hurting even more when he fails, which sounds like bullshit, and is part of the reason why I stopped reading this after, like, I don't know, 20 chapters. Chapters move fast, but I was just like, I don't really like this. So I do want to talk about some stuff that I don't like. I often talk about series that I'm enjoying and that I've, all caught up on. I can't wait for the next chapter, and I sometimes like a series ends and I'll give like my overview and my thoughts of it. But every once in a while, I do want to say, like, if a thing doesn't work for me, and I don't enjoy it, I do want to talk about it. So I think I'm done. There's plenty of chapters I haven't checked out, but I think I am done with Poison Dragon Legend of Asura, and it's mostly with the main villain character being like, you gotta be even stronger. Is this the, whatever your revenge? I need you to go even farther and fail even harder. And it's just like, why? Just defeat him. What are you doing? What is this? It just wasn't super enjoyable. So, yeah, I'm not going to be continuing with Poison Dragon, The Legend of Asura. But I did think it was an interesting idea, and it is cool to read stuff that isn't like, this character is now OP because they trained for many years in some world and are now here. I read enough of those, so it is kind of nice to read something that is different, which this was. All right, what's next? Now it's time to talk about some anime. And again, these are brief overviews. I'm not giving you the play-by-plays of these. I'm not loving, but I am still liking. She professed herself Pupil of the Wise Man. As far as isekai goes, it's fine. Like, somebody brought this up, and I kind of agree. Like, hey, like, basically, dude used to play an MMO, or an online RPG, virtual RPG, MMO game. He played it for many years. He was really good at it, and then he happened to change his avatar from like a wise old wizard into like a young girl, male, wizard man, into a young girl, and then he did that, and then woke up, and he's now inside the game, and the game is real, and he's inside that body, and he is now professing himself to be like the unknown pupil of this legendary wizard, which he was. And the shapes, they fit with each other. Okay. There's some really small shapes here just to make this eye move back and forth. They're really going wild with this shit. This is very detailed. Make all this line up some way so that this can move around by hitting a thing. Going real detailed with this shit. E18. These are very small parts to do this. Anyway, I don't love it. Again, all three shows I'm talking about right now are all isekai. She professed herself Pupil of the Wise Man, In the Land of Leadale, and Arifureta Season 2. They're all isekai, and they're different results. So I'm liking it. I'm just not like in love with it. It's not like my jam per se, but I do think that there's some interesting elements to it. It's like my second favorite isekai this season. Yeah, I think so. Because Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest is just, it's so fast. It's moving so fucking fast. It moves ridiculously fast, unnecessarily fast through the material. And this one, at least, it still has a good pacing. Now, my favorite isekai of the season is In the Land of Leadale, because it is, it did jump around a little bit, so now we're like past the manga, and I think we'll go back at some point and kind of get caught up where we're at. But it is jumping around a little bit with the source material, or the manga jumped around with the anime, with the light novel stuff, because it's more based on the light novel. I do think that it is still enjoyable, because it is this like, it's a similar story of this case, girl wakes up, is her avatar from this online game. She is now in this fantasy world and dealing with that, but it has more sad elements to it, because this girl was on life support and played this VR MMO for escapism, and is now dealing with the fact that she died in that world. And this, who knows what this really is. And then also, there are no players in this world. All of them are not in the world. She is the only one. And it's heavy in some parts, and she's kind of okay with dealing with that, and like ready to deal with that. And then also, it's wacky and weird sometimes, and I do also like that it is sometimes wacky and weird, and okay with being wacky and weird. Like, she's got, basically, the video game had like adopt an NPC thing, create your own NPCs, and she created like a daughter and a son, and then she adopted, that are both elves like she is, and then she adopted in the game a dwarf, and of course they're all still alive in the future. So she goes and visits them, and they all have like fun personalities. Like, the main guy is like embarrassed because he's a hard edge like building dwarf, and he's got a crew of people, but then his mom is still like patting him on the head, and he's like embarrassed about that, which is very cute. And then the daughter is like, just wants her mom to be proud of her. She's the more like reasonable, but still like love. And then the son is like the most important person in the kingdom, but also like just is such a mama's boy and is so like over the top. And our main character is like, I've never kissed anyone, and now I have 3 kids, and 2 of them like in the game I birthed, I guess. And she's just like, oh, it's so weird that they call me mom. Like, it's her dealing with the fact that she's like, I never kissed anyone, I never went on a date, and now I'm a mom, and also very lonely. And I don't know, there's something lovely about it. It's a fun series. I've always really enjoyed the manga. I never got around to reading the light novel. I don't read a lot of light novels. I generally prefer the manga version, or web novels, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I might pick this one up because I do really like the story, and the manga is just so far behind the regular story. So maybe. Who the fuck knows? And then the last one. Uh, we're starting to get some sense of what the season's big bad in Arifureta season 2. It's mostly still just overpowered characters, and then really we're dealing with the interactions of adding the girl that has figured out her feelings for him, that always had feelings for him, that he knew from his high school. She is now part of the crew, and her interactions with the hierarchy of this harem, of the character who thinks of her as a father, and then the character that he is actually in love with, and the 2 girls that are like also there, that are doing their best, that have different relationships with him. That is just like, okay. And then it also, yeah, and then like Kaori, who is like trying to find her place. She's gonna show him that she's going along on this trip because she's like, I want to be with you because I want to be close to you, and also to prove to you that you should reciprocate my feelings for you. And he's like, the girl I love is right here. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. At least they explore it. It's not just the like, we're not going to deal with this style of is this Titan? This feels like this should be more connected and isn't, and I'm feeling weird about that. Sorry, folks. I interrupted myself to say that I feel like this should like lock in place and doesn't. So I'm like, what's going on here? What needs to happen that isn't happening? Because this feels like this should be a tight fit, and it's not a tight fit, and I don't know why it's not a tight fit. But like, this feels like loose as hell. Like, there shouldn't be a gap here. This should be connected. The front is tight. The back feels loose, and I don't know why. All right, I'm going to take this piece off, and we'll reconnect this here. This piece is not on right. Okay, maybe that was on wrong, and that's why. I don't know. Anyway, Arifureta, I will say the animation is better for the fights have already been a huge improvement over the first season. You know, people got budgets; they got to work with those budgets, and part of those budgets is dealing with the expense of fight and monsters, and going to a third party studio to do the design, and those being computer generated and not looking great and not meshing well. That happens in a lot of shows like this. So I'm not like oh, it's a deal breaker, but it is something that is very noticeable and hard for me to ignore. Okay, that did get connected. I was a piece back here wasn't slotted in properly, and that wouldn't let this be a clean connection. It felt way too wonky for something that is very expensive and modern. As again, this 2020 kit, so I was like, this doesn't feel right, and it wasn't right. All right, so I need D1 and C19. Oh, I haven't done the proper colors yet. I'll do that off stream. Just know that there's very little red in here, but there is some gray. Gray I'll be using black on, and there's no white on this kit. And then blue will be the black. Red will be basically most of this stuff will be this teal will most of these colors I'll be using the black marker, and then purple and all that, and then the red I'll be using the brown marker. So where it says white gray, I'll just do else black. Everything else I'll be using the black marker. D1. All right. D1. Got it. And that's the anime and manga that I have been checking out. And we got time in the stream left to talk about what you've been playing or watching or viewing. I've got on a kick of watching. I can't give you an exact recommendation of a person. I'm just watching in general. I've been watching a lot of van life bullshit for the past couple of years. Now I'm getting into cargo van. Cargo trailers, not vans, cargo trailers, you say, like towing trailers that are normally meant for equipment. And then people that are making those like weekend campers or weekend RVs or their living vehicle. So they can always like park it at a place and then like take take the car wherever. I've been watching a lot of those. So it's not van life, it's cargo van life or cargo trailer life. Uh, People being like, this one we didn't put a bathroom in, and I watched one that was just like, hey, check out my conversion, and it was just like it was very funny because it was like a bed that didn't do anything, didn't convert. It was just a bed that was fixed so you could put like vehicles or whatever underneath it, like whatever, like mopeds or whatever, or motorcycle or whatever. So it was just like high in the air, and there was like a shitty ladder that like would attach and like have to move off. And it had like a little kitchenette that like didn't have running water and just had like whatever, like a basin and some water jugs. Uh, and then this dude was just like, I didn't make any cabinets. He had like bags, and he had like a tool chest, and he had a tool chest that he had like taken the wheels off, like a big like tool cabinet thing that he just used for. He was like, this has two tools and food in it, and clothes and whatever else. And I was like, you put this on the internet, my dude. Like, you didn't have to put this on the internet if you were gonna like not actually do anything. It really didn't feel like this dude did much. It was pretty funny. Uh it was just like, oh no, man, you didn't really go for it there, my guy. It was like, I don't know about this one, y'all. Uh oh, did I put this on upside down? No? Right there. Great. Okay. There we go. we're getting there. This is instead of the cockpit being in the center here, we got a little like access point here in the back of the head, which is weird for a kit like this, but cool. So yeah, we got a little access point in the back here. Pop that open when you need it. Dirty says, my sister sent me a meme about van lifers. It was a two-parter with part one having the Farley skit of I live in a van down by the river, and then part two with a couple talking about their 60K renovation of a box truck. Yes, I live in a van down by the river in a very expensive conversion that we paid way too much for, and we didn't get enough solar panels. Oops, we should have gotten more solar panels. That's my big takeaway from any RV conversion or anything like that. People were like, this doesn't really go off grid. It needs to be on the grid. We didn't build it to be to handle this. I wish we had put more solar on it. That is a big takeaway of these folks and what I am observing from them. But that is very yes, a lot of that like yeah, I live in a van down by the river, and it's like cool. What kind of conversion you do, bro? Is it stealthy? Is it a stealth van down by the river? It's like yes, it's very stealthy. Nowadays we would be like, you own a van? Cool. Like, oh no, I borrow a van. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of those cargo conversions. They've been like fine to it's another thing to watch. I'm like pretty interested in them. You know, it is cool to see people that like go out of their way to make something interesting and like, like go put the time and effort into some kind of build like that. I think that can be pretty cool. I am interested in the people that do the work. But some of them are like, why'd you put this on YouTube, my dude? And some of them I'm like, damn, why did you do this at all? You were going above and beyond for this complete nonsensical build of this like incredible place that you're like, yeah, this is our, we already have the RV, but we wanted to have something we could just put behind the truck and just go for it. It's like, okay. I watched an off the grid conversion the other day where they had module solar panels they placed inside of having the static on the roof. They also had a modular hot tub. Yeah, I do like the ones that have like they're like you could put this on a roof, but really what we do is when we park somewhere, we just set them out. And they've got little stands, and then you can like move them so because the thing with putting them on the roof is they're on the roof. Where these, you can like angle them, and like if there's shade, you don't have to put them in. You don't have to move the car. There's the thing with people that are off grid and need the sun to recharge their batteries. They have to park in the sun. Whereas this, you can just stick them there, and then you hang out in the shade. And I'm like, yeah, there's definitely something to be said for that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to hear from you folks. Are you playing video games? I did not pick up Windjammers. I was not expecting to pick up Windjammers because I don't have anyone to play games with here. So I wasn't like, I got to get me this video game that I can play with all of my friends. But also, it seems like, from what I've seen from numerous people, that I wouldn't be able to play with my friends online anyway. Because it seems pretty busted to play with your friends. Okay to play with strangers. Dave Lang's video about muting Windjammers on Twitter. I did not see that. I could imagine Dave Lang wanting to mute Windjammers for a little while. I did very much enjoy Jeff's tweet about wanting Windjammers 3. I think that is very funny. I wish I had thought of that. That he said they should make a Windjammers 3. I think that is very fucking funny and timely. Good on Jeff for that. But yeah, no, I did not see. But Dave Lang should mute that after he went out of his way to say there was no way because it was a dead end and he was tired of people asking for Windjammers. But it is a good thing that even if you are frustrated in life, it's very smart not to make never, statements like that because if the things that you are definitely convinced will never happen do happen, you then have to fucking hear about it all the time. He played some Pedestrian and Monster Hunter Rise. Nice. John. Hey, John. Welcome. Still playing Super Robot Wars 30 and messing around with PUBG again. Nice. Look, I'm still your basic Pat. I'm playing uh I'm playing Halo. I'm still having a good time with Halo multiplayer. It's still fucking really fun to play. I can't believe I'm still playing Halo, but I got a good crew of people that still want to play Halo, and I'm having a good time playing Halo. I've got Windjammers 2 installed on 3 machines, 2 of which are because of Game Pass, but haven't had the time to play. Well, I hope you get to play, and I hope you get to find some matches, and I hope the friends things works better, and you have a good time with Windjammers 2. But I have been, I have been thinking. I've been playing Hearthstone. There's going to be a patch coming up next week, so I've been playing one deck that is going to get nerfed a little bit, and then I'm trying another deck. I'm trying to make Guff work. I'm trying to make Questline Druid with Guff work. I just need to. I can get the damage together. It's just about staying alive to make it work out. I want it to work because Guff is such a cool card. Guff is a hero card that when you play him, you can either for 2 mana draw a card or gain an empty mana crystal up to 20. So you can have more than 10 mana crystals, which is a nonsense thing, and it is it's just a great concept. Execution, it doesn't work as well as I would like, but I'm trying that deck out. I really want to love that deck. And I got my usual ones that I've been playing, but I'm trying to do that because I do like just have a lot of mana druid. And the idea that you can have like 12 mana crystals instead of 10 is so fun. But yeah, I'm trying to get that deck to work. When it does work, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I've been playing Hearthstone. I've been playing Dorf Romantique. I'm still playing. I'm still unlocking things in there. I'm trying to unlock a bunch of variants and spots. I'm trying to get all that unlocked for my stream in February. So also, it's just relaxing. I'm looking forward to the next update to Power Wash Simulator, which just looks neat. Looks like it's gonna be neat. Oh, there's undergating on here, so I got to make sure I get all the undergating off because it will fuck things up. We are almost done with this head. This head has so many parts. This has been like at the hour of the 10 p.m. hour is dedicated to. We're almost finished the head by the time we're done here. We did have to get like stuff sorted and like whatever, and not really start at 10 because the pause for the cause. But still, this is still an endeavor. We haven't even panel lined it yet, which there will be some panel lines on this. We will get a little detail on it. I'll probably panel line it off stream. We're not done yet, but we're in the Homer stretch. I will once again remind you folks that I have a bonus stream tomorrow. In case you weren't there at the top of the show, I am doing a bonus stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. I always like to keep that 9 p.m. there till like probably 10. It won't be that long, but it will be a just chatting stream where I'll be talking about my picks, and you'll watch me vote in the anime awards. So you'll see me cast my votes and kind of go through my choices and my decisions and why I'm making certain decisions. I'll just kind of go through that so you can kind of just see my process, and I'll talk about the categories and the snubs and the like. This isn't the right, like, hey, in this place they're talking about Tokyo Revengers shows up for like 2 characters. Like, that's weird. Like, that kind of like is gonna take away, like they're gonna steal each other's votes for like best whatever. I'm like, but then they're not listed in best fight. And then I had somebody try to tell me that Tokyo Revengers doesn't have good fights, and I'm like, the whole point of the show is fighting. It's like aggravated fighting between characters while they give monologues. Like, that's the fucking show. And also, you're wrong. It is very good. That fighting is awesome. So I don't know. I got some strong opinions on that. So we'll talk about anime. That's tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and of course on Saturday we will be working on this, and I will be in a different room tomorrow. So I will be setting that all up and subject to change. And also I will be using for the first time my third monitor because my this 970 can handle 3 monitors as long as I am not going bonkers with it. I should be good. And if I'm not, I will just unplug the third monitor and make it work. But I believe that it'll work out and be okay. So great. All right. Gonna build these side things here. Doing that now. J and L2, and then I need G10. H. Right now, I am packed to the gills. My sorting system is stuffed because this real grade has a lot of parts because it is a very detailed kit, as you can imagine, about how many parts putting together just for the head of this kit, which obviously is a big head. It's like atypical, but still, lots of parts. We're building this thing. G10, okay. Yeah, so that my stream tomorrow and my stream on Saturday. Also, while we're talking about upcoming streams, promotion. On Wednesday, which is January 26th, want to say, what'd you say? Yes, January 26th, that is 6 days away, will be Prepare with Bear, my cooking stream, my very rare cooking streams, because I've only done 2 ever before. But yeah, I will be cooking. I will be preparing some sausage balls, which I have never had. I had not had before this Christmas, and I really like the. I found a good recipe from the person that made them, and so I'm excited to put those together. All right, so I need. This should have. Okay, so this goes on the outside. This goes. This. So yeah, so I'm excited to put those together or put that together. I've heard very good things. I mean, I tasted it and it tasted great. And this recipe, I've heard good things about this particular recipe. So I am excited to see how that turns out for an audience. And then also, I'll be working on twice baked potatoes, which I know are great because I have built this recipe many times before. So I know this recipe is solid. I have worked on it previously, so I know that that's going to be some good shit. So that'll be good. So that's going to be on Wednesday. They're both. The nice thing is both of them require the same amount of heat, 350 degrees. So I can even put them in together if I do all the way prep. But like obviously I'll be building one. Not obviously, but I'll be building one and then building the other, prepping and then putting them all together in the oven. So the one that takes longer, which is the sausage balls, while that's cooking, then I'll prep together and prepare together the twice baked potatoes, and then put those in, and then they should finish up, and I'll do some cleanup and some conversation to hang out. The other thing that's great is because they're twice baked potatoes, I will bake the first part, the boring part where you just bake it and you don't do anything to them. I can do that during the day on Wednesday and then just let them sit and cool, and then just whenever I need them, just go to town and them up. And then I can also time how long it takes for my stove to preheat because I don't remember. I just know it's longer than it should be. It's just like feels like for 350 degrees my oven takes forever, and I don't know exactly how long it is. So I'm going to be able to time that to judge like how long I need to start preheating the oven before the stream starts on Wednesday. I can also do that before that, but I don't know if I'll use it. And as mentioned, because I will be hanging out by myself, holding down the fort here in. I will most likely try to take photos every day of something either that I've cooked or just bought. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be getting takeout just to kind of that way. I'm just like I don't have to worry about cooking the first day. So I'm just gonna get delivery, I should say, not takeout, but I'm just gonna get some Chinese food delivered. I think that'll be a good beginning. But I'll take a photo of that. But I'm gonna try every day. Take a photo of something I've either cooked or prepared or something. Even if it's just like, here's some leftovers that I made it like this, and just that'll also encourage me to try to make some stuff that's cool and different and like, okay, well, I've got pork for today. I'm not just gonna put barbecue sauce on it. How else? I've got gravy. Maybe I'll make like something with that, and like, okay, I'm gonna do this with some roasted potatoes instead of just throwing in French fries. I'll like get some potatoes and I'll mash some potatoes and do that, like that kind of thing. Or I've got this, and you know what? Why don't I put this on a bed of rice and use teriyaki sauce instead of barbecue sauce or steak or whatever steak sauce, but like whatever. I'll do. I'm gonna try to mix things up a little bit for myself. I got 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, so I can do like get out the old crock pot and do that with like a big piece of chicken. I'm gonna do that. All right, here we go. We finished the head. Gonna call this stream. We are gonna go raid because that is how we end every stream. We go and raid somebody in the community that I think is a fantastic person and a good streamer. They don't always have to be, the best in the world. They don't have to be model kit makers, but they have to be good people with good communities. That's the goal. So we'll go find somebody who's doing some good work there and see what they're up to. And then again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing a fun, weird little no ninja. We're not rating ninja, no Lord Caston. But as I said, we will tomorrow do a fun bonus stream, so come check that out. We're gonna go raid Wiggins, who is playing Halo Infinite, and you might not know this about Matt Wiggins. Matt Wiggins also worked on Halo. Works for 343 and worked on the game in some capacity, which is cool. That's his day job, and he's playing his day job, which is neat. So we're gonna go raid Matt. So feel free to come along on this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your stream or your rest of your night. I had a great stream tonight. I'm glad you were here with me. I hope to see you tomorrow for my bonus stream and on Saturday for working on the chest of this Zeong, this big friend. And I will see you soon. Thanks you all, everybody, for being here. I hope to see you in the future. Good night, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Bye.